Today's two shlokas, 47 and 48, will bring about the conclusion of the four Varnas topic. So let's chant 47. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat svanushthitat swabhava niyatam karma kurvannapnoti kilbisham. Better is one's own duty, though devoid of merit, than the duty of another well performed. For performing the duty ordained by his own nature, man does not incur sin. Two words here which are very important, swadharma and paradharma. Dharma, you know, duty. Swa is one's own. So swadharma is one's own duty. Paradharma means the duty of somebody else. So the important thing is to remember, though we have already done it before, what is dharma? Dharma is that which makes one who he is, that makes something integrally to that what it is. Example, the sun. What is the dharma of the sun? The dharma of the sun is to give heat and light. If the sun is not giving heat and light, then it cannot be the sun. So the dharma of the sun being heat and light, that is what makes the sun what it is. Okay? So similarly, one can ask, what makes every individual what he or she is? What makes me what I am? What makes you or you what you are? Exactly what you are. Your swabhav. My swabhav makes me uniquely myself. Somebody else's swabhav makes that person uniquely that person. So what makes one's swabhav unique? Okay? What makes an individual unique? His swabhav. What makes that swabhav unique? The mental impressions that that person is carrying from previous lifetimes, his sanskars, his vasanas, his mental disposition, the exact, the ratios and the proportions and exactly the blueprint that he's carrying within him from all his previous lifetimes makes that person's swabhav unique to that person. And that swabhav makes that person what he is. So, swabhav is your nature. Nature we call prakriti. So, we are born with a particular prakriti. Now, if we're not doomed to have that prakriti for the rest of our life. Those who have the knowledge and the ability and the inclination will improve their prakriti through sadhanas, and that prakriti will become his sanskriti. But if a person does not make any effort at all to improve his prakriti, then automatically it will become vikriti. So you don't need to do anything to degrade yourself. You simply don't have to do anything to improve yourself. But if you improve yourself, you can definitely improve your swabhav. So Bhagwan is telling us now from Shlok 41 onwards that whatever is your swabhav, what is the method of improving the prakriti to sanskriti? Bhagwan says, whatever swabhav you are born with, there are certain duties to be performed according to your swabhav. So if you perform those duties which are given in the Shastras, according to your swabhav, in the prescribed manner, then through that performing of the duties, you will be able to rise above your swabhav, or you will be able to upgrade, you can say. You'll be able to upgrade your swabhav and evolve spiritually. So that is the meaning of the words swabhava niyatam karma. Karma, action. Swabhav niyatam, action according to your swabhav. That is the secret of evolving. Okay? The right. So let's recap it. Perform your duty according to your swabhav, in sync with your vasana, in sync with your mental disposition. How to do it? With the right technique. What was that right technique? Every action becomes a worship of Brahma. So when you do the right action in the right way, then the vasanas get destroyed. And when the vasanas get destroyed, we have Chitta Shuddhikaran. And with Chitta Shuddhikaran, we have liberation. Okay? So if one's innate disposition, let's say, is of a Shudra, or you say it is of a Vaishya, or Kshatriya, or Brahmana, then you must compulsorily perform the duties that the Shastras have prescribed for that particular disposition. Even though you may think, oh, the duty of a Kshatriya is much better. I think I will just promote myself to a Kshatriya. Or the duty of a Brahmana is more noble, more attractive, more conducive, whatever you may perceive for yourself. I will just promote myself to a Kshatriya. You cannot do that. I just promote myself to a Brahmana. So one with a, let's say, Vaishya disposition. You remember the three duties are there of Vaishya. What are they? Creating wealth, protecting that wealth, and distribution of the resources or the wealth. So now person who has that, he's born with that disposition. He's born with those tendencies or those skills and abilities. He will be very successful in business. He will be very comfortable also doing all sorts of business deals here, there, and everywhere. It's natural for him. He just knows how to do it. It's very effortless for him. Similarly, a person who has, let's say, a Brahmana disposition, he will find it very easy to, go through the Shastras and understand the Shastras, teach the Shastras. But you ask him to do business, he will not be able to do. He will have no mental capacity to deal with finance or money or business or trade. It will be very stressful for that person. That is why Bhagavan is saying in this shloka, Shreyan Swadharma Vigunaha Paradharmat Swanushtitat. It is better if you perform your own duty, even though you may think it is devoid of merit. It is better than doing the duty of any other varna, even if you are doing it very well. Little difficult to understand this. And I remember at least 17 to 18, 19 years ago, I raised this topic with my Guruji, Swamiji Maharaj. And I said, why, if I'm able to perform another Varna's duty well, why should I not do that? So now, after so many years, I've really understood it, and I want to explain that to you. The word Viguna means devoid of merit, devoid of merit. Now, because of ignorance or lack of understanding or lack of clarity, people perceive certain duties to be more meritorious than others, more noble, more attractive. Now, just because someone thinks that, because of ignorance, doesn't make it so. So this devoid of merit is in whose eyes? They're in the eyes of society maybe, or in the eyes of ignorant people who have not understood the Varna system properly. In the eyes of the Shastras, this devoid of merit does not exist at all, because according to the Shastras, they are not ranking duties in superior and as superior, inferior. According to Shastras, all duties of all Varnas are equally required. If you want a society to be run smoothly, all four varnas have to have equal importance so that everything happens in the right, proper way. So one wonders, why is it better to perform only your own duty? Okay, all four are required, but why can't I perform another Varna's duty? Still, four Varnas will be doing. I will just be doing another Varna's duty. Even and I'll be able to perform it well also because I'm so good at X, Y, and Z. I'm so evolved. I can easily perform the Varnas of Brahmana. So why can't I do it? Bhagwan says, Swabhava niyatam karma kurvanapnoti kilbisham. Kilbisham means sin. Performing the duties ordained by his own nature, man does not incur sin. In other words, performing the duties of paradharma, of somebody else, you will incur sin. Now let's understand the word sin. Firstly, when you have a particular swabhav, you're born with that swabhav, right? It is who you are. That swabhav, no matter how unpleasant it is, it will never kill you. It will never destroy you. For example, the snake has venom in it, poison in it, right? But the poison of a snake does not kill the snake. It may kill somebody else, but it will not kill the snake. So if someone takes the snake out of the poison and takes it as his own, then that person gets destroyed. The snake doesn't get destroyed. For example, if you say the sting, the malaria germ, which is in the mosquito, it is not making the mosquito shiver. But when that germ comes out of the mosquito into you and me, we start shivering. So we cannot take somebody else's dharma, swabhav into us. They will not suffer because they are born with it, but we will suffer. Taking it out from somebody else and appropriating somebody's dharma onto you will create sin, meaning it will create discomfort, pain. So your own duty, your own swabhav is what is required for you to evolve, okay? If you are born with Brahmana swabhav and you take on the duties of a Vaishya, now what will happen? Already you are born with particular vasanas of Brahmana. And now you are creating vasanas of Vaishya, say. So now already you are supposed to get rid of one set of vasanas. Now you are creating a second set of vasanas. So doing the duty of somebody else is actually creating new vasanas in you. That is a sin. Why is it a sin? It's a sin because your goal of your life is to eradicate the vasanas, not create new vasanas. Okay? So, third reason why you should not be taking somebody else's vasanas, somebody else's swabhav, somebody else's duties. When you are born with certain dispositions, that work becomes very easy for you. It becomes very effortless for you. So it comes naturally to you. And when you take on somebody else's, since you do not have that disposition, you will have to put in more effort. You will have to strive to accomplish that. And therefore, when you start striving for something, one very naughty, bad thing happens, that is doership. Doership gets created. Volition, wanting to do something, will involve ego, and ego is another way of doership. And you do know that doership is a bondage. We are trying to get rid of doership. So when you take on a duty of some other varna, you are taking on paradharma. So paradharma always will involve karta bhav. And therefore, you are creating sin because you are supposed to move towards liberation. Instead of that, you are moving towards bondage. Okay. So Varna is not to be understood in the wrong sense that this Varna is better, that Varna is inferior. Everything and everyone in this entire universe has been put there for a particular reason. There's a function for it. There's a place for it. Nothing is redundant. Nothing can be disposed of. Nothing is higher, nothing is lower. Okay. So don't look down on your Varna and say, now I want to promote myself and go to a higher Varna. There is no such thing as higher Varna. All right. So that has to be understood clearly. And the message of the Gita in these shlokas is very clear. It doesn't matter which Varna you are in. If you follow the teachings of the Gita meticulously, no matter which Varna you are in, you will get liberated. Varna does not become an obstacle to liberation. You know, Sant Tukaram, there is a quote. Actually, I'm going to read out to you because it's very apt for this shloka. I will read it in English, of course. Sant Tukaram said, "Thank God I am a Shudra. The Lord has rescued me from having to perform many rituals and the pride associated with them. Just by chanting the name of Hari, I have realized him and I am free." Sant Tukaram. See, even in the Gita, we see Bhagwan Krishna is not born a Brahmana, he is born a Kshatriya. And he is not at all trying to promote himself to be a Brahmana. He is not even telling Arjun, Arjun, promote yourself and become a Brahmana. Start studying the Shastras. Start teaching the Shastras. This is the highest function. This is the best job for you. No, he says you are a Kshatriya. You must do the duties of a Kshatriya. Okay. So again and again, Bhagwan in these few shlokas from 41 going on to 48, Bhagwan is giving us through the system of the Varnas how we can achieve Chitta Shuddhikaran, and through Chitta Shuddhikaran, the next step is self-realization. So that was shlok 47. Let's go to 48 and conclude the whole topic of 4 Varnas. 48. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadoshamapi na tyajet sarvarambha hi doshena dhumena agnidivavritaha. Therefore, Arjun, one should not relinquish one's innate duty, even though it has a measure of evil. For all undertakings are beset by some evil, as is the fire covered by smoke. Very nice shloka. So we are born, every human being is born with a set of vasanas, a set of mental impressions, and these impressions, these vasanas, these footprints which we have within us, they drive us naturally to a particular field of activity. Okay, there's really not much one can do to avoid that drive. So this drive will express itself always as a desire or as a thought or in words or in the work that we do, the actions or our duty. Bhagwan says here, the important word is sahajam. Sahajam karma na tyajet. Sahajam, what you are born to. Don't tyajet, don't give up that karma, that action. Sahajam karma cannot be given up completely. When can it be given up? It can be perhaps given up when you have achieved full Chitta Shuddhikaran. And after Chitta Shuddhikaran, automatically self-realization will be attained. At that time, you can give it up. Your natural duty, you can give it up. Then there is no rule applicable for you. Then you do what you find the best joy in. But till that time, till your Chitta Shuddhikaran is done, till you have achieved self-realization, Sahaja Karma na tyajet. You are not supposed to give up the duty to which you are born. Now the thing is to understand this word sahajam. You are born with certain vasanas. Sahajam means born with, not born into. And there is a difference, okay? There are two forces which drive us to action. One is that with which we are born, sahaja, born with. And the second is what we are born into, our environment. So the two things prod us, urge us to act. That which we are born with and the environment which we are born into. Okay, two different words, born with, born into. Now the sahajam karma, the one that we are born with, you have to live it through. You cannot give it up. You have to live it through, and you have to live it through without ego and desire. So the way to come out of this born with sahajam karma, born with, the only way out is do all your actions in karma yog bhav. No ego means no karta bhav. No desire means no bhokta bhav. If you want to rise above your prakriti, what you are born with, and you want to make your prakriti into sanskriti, do all your actions outside and inside without ego, karta bhav, without desire or bhokta bhav. All right. Now, born into. What about what you are born into? The environment which you are born into. That is also prodding you to do certain actions, right? So that also has to be dealt with. Otherwise, we will be doing the wrong things. So we have to make sure that whatever is our environment doesn't contaminate our personality, doesn't make us do things that make our prakriti into vikriti. So what are the things we have to do over there? What is the sadhana we have to apply there? What is the development? Vivek and Vairagya. You have to use your Vivek to see, this environmental input which I'm getting, I need to stay away from that because it is contaminating my personality. And therefore, Vairagya, stay away from it. So both these things, born into and born with, both these things are what are driving us. So born with, I have to live through. I have to live through. I cannot change it with money. I cannot change it just because I feel like changing it. Why? Firstly, Bhagwan says, Sarva Rambha hi doshena. Why would you want to change it? Because you think something else is better. Because you think something else is superior. Something else is higher. This, what I'm doing, is a lowly thing. But Bhagwan says, Sarva Rambha hi doshena. All things that you do, all undertakings are beset by some evil. Means evil meaning here, flaw. Every action is made up of three gunas. And these three gunas are called evil. Evil meaning they will always have some dosh. They will always have some flaw in them. And because we are still not very clear with our thinking, we only see the flaw in where we are, in our prarabdha. We see the flaw in our path. We see the flaw in our circumstances. We see the flaw in our situation. But we say that the grass is greener on the other side. No, the grass is the same on both sides of the fence. The other path we may think is more sattvic, it's more conducive, it's more attractive, but there are flaws there also. Every action, every undertaking has some flaws. So we should not feel that I'll take up that person's dharma, paradharma. No, no, no. You have to do your own swadharma. And Bhagwan says we are not able to see that clearly because he compares it to dhume nagni, smoke that covers a fire. Okay, every action has some flaw, and the fire, just like the fire covers the smoke covers the fire, our misunderstanding or lack of understanding is not allowing us to see the flaws in everything, only in our own. Now, let's take an example. Let's say every action is beset with some evil, Bhagwan says. Now, if I, out of kindness, out of love, out of something, I give something to somebody, okay? Now, I may think I'm doing a very good action, but that good action has a flaw because it may create greed in that person. It may create jealousy in that person. It may create fear of loss in that person. So the good action also has some element of evil, meaning some flaw in it, okay? Or let's say we don't want to eat non-vegetarian food because it's going to kill an animal. There's hinsa there. I will only eat vegetarian food. But eating vegetarian food also kills some plants. So, but it is necessary for survival to eat the plants. The plants have been created by Bhagwan for us to eat. But you can say that there is an element over there of guna. There is some element there of a flaw. So Bhagwan is telling Arjun, go fight the war. But fighting the war is dharma, but there is also some flaw there. Some people are going to get killed. Many people are going to get killed. But dharma tells me I have to do it. Therefore, all actions, because of the three gunas, will have some flaw in it, definitely. But that doesn't mean that we don't do the action. If that action is part of our swadharma, we have to do it to the best of our abilities in the prescribed manner, without karta bhav, without bhokta bhav, as a worship of Brahmana. Then as a worship of Brahma, then what? It will not be considered a sin. That is the teaching that Bhagwan is giving us here. So action is compulsory. Every action has some flaw in it. We have to perform the action according to our varna in the prescribed manner that will remove our vasanas and take us forward. No running away from the allotted duty. Sahajam karma, the karma, the swabhav that you are born with. We are not talking about the environment that you are born into. Okay. Now, secondly, and this is a very beautiful explanation. We are born already with a set of vasanas. And that set of vasanas is either putting us in the category of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Our job is to rise above these vasanas and remove them, eradicate them. That is the meaning of purification. What purification we have to do? We have to remove the vasanas. That is our chitta shuddhikaran. Now, let's take an example. I have, let's say in my home already, one big trash can, garbage can full of garbage. All right. What is my job? My job is to throw the garbage out. Now, instead of throwing this garbage out, I say, oh, the neighbor's house has better garbage. So let me go and bring that garbage into my house. So now I have my own garbage, plus I have my neighbor's garbage, double garbage. That is exactly what Bhagwan is trying to tell us here. The garbage that we already have is my own set of vasanas. My job is to get rid of them. How will I get rid of them? I will get rid of them by doing my allotted duty in the prescribed manner. But instead of doing my allotted duty in the prescribed manner, I'm now going to my neighbor and taking on his dharma. By taking on his dharma and doing his dharma, I am creating new vasanas. I am creating new mental impressions. I am creating double jeopardy. I have not got rid of my own vasanas, and now I've taken on somebody else's vasanas. Now, vasana has to be removed before I can reach moksha, before I can get self-realization. And this is the real reason, the biggest reason why one must do one's own duty, even if you think they have flaws, rather than taking on somebody else's vasanas, even though I may do them well. This is the beautiful understanding that people should get. All right. So don't be concerned about what the other is doing, what the other dharma is. Focus on your own dharma. Do the duty. You cannot na tyajet. You cannot sahajam karma na tyajet. You cannot give up your karma with based on the swabhav that you are born with. When can you do it? When can you renounce it? When can you do tyag of your swadharma? You can renounce it. When? Once you have mastered shama and dama. Once you have perfected vivek and vairagya. Once you have mastered and performed all your duties according to your swabhav, and you have attained chitta shuddhikaran through the worship of Brahma in every action. Have you done all those things? Then have you attained the bhava of a mumuksha? Have you done Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan? Have you been through these processes of purification? If so, and your antakaran is perfectly shuddha, by all means, give up your swadharma. No problem, because at that stage, you will automatically be self-realized. And when you are self-realized, there is no duty allotted to you. You can do as you please, and you will always pleased to do, you will always be pleased to do what is in everyone's highest interest. So these are the beautiful understandings we can get from these shlokas, from something which is so mundane as a varna system, something that we have always kind of looked down upon in the modern society. Why should there be Kshatriya? Why should there be Brahmana? Why should there be Shudra? Why should there be Vaishya? This is why. This is why. It has nothing to do with caste. It has nothing to do with class. It is nothing to even to do with a person. It is to do with your own mental disposition. Take this all in. See how it applies to you. And after 2 weeks, we'll meet again and continue with our mini satsangs. But don't forget, chanting will go on. And I wish that everyone attends the chanting as meticulously and regularly as you have been doing. Okay? Oh. 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 Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Shidarpana. Jai Gurudev.